We're starting, guys. Yeah, I know you want the video.
Hey, Andre, and welcome to this week's episode of What Truck Should I Buy? And Talking Trucks.
Talking trucks.
It's all trucks all the time, Andre.
Heck yeah.
And where's Kent?
Kent is on vacation. It's very rare that he goes on vacation.
Yes.
So it's really important, and I think he's somewhere in the mountains. I think he's riding his side-by-side.
So you are stuck with me.
Oh, that's okay.
Is that okay? All right.
Yeah,
I hope that's okay. We don't have the chicken, Andre.
No chicken, but we do have the bell. And actually, one of our biggest supporters, Dan Atkinson, donated a bunch of money.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. You give us $200, so we're going to send you one of these. Just shoot us
and the shipping address.
Yeah, to info@TFL Truck, what size you wear, and we will send you one of our special limited edition TFL hoodies. And congratulations on making money again. Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
Too bad you're not a little bit closer. Appalachia is so far. It's so far. Anyway, Andre, what are we talking about today?
Well, EcoDiesel.
Yeah, there's two things actually. The EcoDiesel. We've had hundreds of emails from people who have had the settlement fix, and people aren't happy.
No.
So
we'll discuss some of that because a lot of you have been asking about this.
Yeah, we've got your emails. And it's not just the truck, of course, it's also the Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Right.
This, remember how long ago was it that we first reported on the Volkswagen
we were
emissions?
in a different office.
Yes, it's been that long.
It was like 2015, I think. So it's been about 4 years.
rolling along and rolling along.
Yeah.
And so, it's just, it is what it is.
But also we have news.
And we have
not
news.
just EcoDiesel.
Yeah, we got, you Toyota fans, we got images of the new Tundra.
2021.
Yeah.
Prototype.
Yeah.
Calm down. Don't fall off your chair.
But I'm not going to show them yet. You'll have to stick
around. At the end of the show, we're going to make you stay around for the whole show if you want to see what the new
prototypes are.
Twin turbo.
Yeah, potentially twin turbo.
Potential hybrid.
Potential hybrid.
Do we have images of the engine?
No.
Do we have images of the tow hook? How much it tows?
We do have that, but not this time. Well, you'll have to wait and see.
All right.
Okay? Jeez.
All right. And by the way, if you guys want to help support this channel, as always, we've got a bunch of different ways for you to donate on Super Chat. You can donate $10, get on the board. $5 or $10. For $25, you get a patch. For $50, you get a hat. And if you like Dan, $199, you get yourself a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And that money has recently gone into hiring a whole bunch of new editors.
And also a drone. We got a new drone.
We bought a new drone finally. Yeah, the old one. What happened to the old one, Andre? Tell us that story.
Well, I was flying it near the Boulder Reservoir, and I was trying to get that perfect shot with a little spark.
Yeah.
Because it's
a
nice
tiny spark. Yeah,
little tiny drone. And all of a sudden, the drone got a mind of its own.
Really?
It started kind of going in circles. I was trying to fight for control. I was doing this and that, and then it took off. And I couldn't regain control.
You think it got hijacked?
I think it got hijacked.
You think somebody actually stole our drone?
Or maybe some glitch appeared in the drone and I lost it forever.
So yeah, that one has gone to the great
gods of drones.
Graveyard of drones in the sky, or somebody's got themselves a new spark. Either way.
By the way, David Morrison is here from Australia.
David, dude.
David, thank you. Alex,
good on you. Good on you, mate.
So thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, we love having you here.
Yes.
So let's talk about trucks, Andre, and let's talk about the Jeep /Ram 1500 EcoDiesel. Now, I remember when Nathan and I went on that program, and at that time, FCA was very proud of the fact, and they made a big deal out of it, that it was the most fuel-efficient truck in America.
That was true. It was 29 mpg.
Yeah, 29.
There was a model, two-wheel drive model, right? The HFE, high-efficiency model. And with a tonneau cover, right? Remember they put a tonneau and running boards and all this stuff. It was 29.
And can I tell you a crazy story about that?
What?
So, a couple of years later, we actually wanted to test it here.
Yes.
So I called our man at FCA, at RAM, and I said, hey, can you get us one? He said, no problem. We'll ship it over to you from California. And that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that there's a friend of ours, Wayne Gertis, who does clean MPG.
Correct.
He actually volunteered to drive it from Los Angeles to Boulder. Now he does hypermiling, right? He does these crazy things that we do not recommend, like drafting off of pickup trucks, Dan, crazy stuff like that. That's not very safe.
Yeah.
Or actually never using the brake.
Going slowly or going fast.
Never using the brake,
etc., etc.
So guess how far he got on a tank of gas leaving from Los Angeles. to bring the truck here. How far? The truck is supposed to have a normal range of about, what, 600 miles or so?
Yeah, I would say he got about 850 miles.
He got here.
All the way?
All the way.
That's about
1,000 miles.
1,000 miles.
He went 1,000 miles in that truck on one tank of gas. And I don't know how big the gas tank was, but
I think it's about 26.
It might have been a 26-gallon tank.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that just blew my mind. Yeah. So
recent, but
very
more
efficient
recently,
truck. Very efficient truck. And then when Nathan and I drove it, we were out in California, and we got to tow with it, and it had a lot going for it. I mean, not only was it fuel efficient, but it was also one of the first full-size trucks you could get with the diesel. So people were super excited, right?
Yeah, because people have been asking for this for a long time.
Until that point, you could have a Cummins in the heavy-duty truck, but you couldn't get a diesel.
Right.
So people were super excited, and so we got to tow with it, and it was, it was perky. I mean, it had a lot of kind of that what you'd want from a diesel, that kind of strong torque that you could really feel, push you back in the seat. And Nathan and I came away really impressed with it. You know, so much so that we considered actually buying one for like a long-term review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't buy one.
No, and times have changed.
Yes. We do have a Rebel, though.
We do have a Rebel, yes. So tell them, since then, which was, how long ago was that? 6 years ago now? 5 years ago?
That was 2013 because it came out as a 2014.
Yeah, 7 years ago. So
approximately.
So let's catch these guys up to what has happened with that engine. And that engine was a VM Motori, I think it's pronounced.
Correct, which is owned by FCA.
It was a diesel engine out of Europe, so it was not something that they developed specifically for the truck, but they had been using it in Europe.
Yeah, and it's a turbocharged V6,
Yep.
of course. In 2017, EPA opened a probe, an inquiry, saying that they found several conditions, 8 conditions under which they felt FCA and RAM did not comply with some of the emissions standards.
Yeah, and this is the important part, right?
Yeah.
So what happened with Volkswagen, and I think it's important to bring Volkswagen in is that it's pretty obvious, and I don't know if they've admitted to this part, but certainly people are going to jail. What they did is, in their diesels, they put in code that the vehicle knew that it was being tested.
Like on a dyno.
Like on a dyno. Yeah. So if it was on, it knew if it was on a dyno, it knew if the hood was open, all these conditions. If the front and rear wheels were spinning at the same, blah, blah, were spinning at different rates because you weren't on the road. If all these conditions were met, it had a different program for the engine. So, a diesel engine, there's a lot that goes to it, right? It's not just, how much fuel is going in there. It's, how much
recirculation, cleaning,
ERG. There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
And when those conditions were happening, it was very clean. And when you took it off the dyno, it wasn't so clean.
Yeah, so basically exhaust gas recirculation.
Yep.
It's partially to make the engine run cleaner because it takes some of the exhaust and puts it back into the intake, so it kind of processes within the engine more. Of course, there is DEF fluid, diesel exhaust fluid, which is also a particulate filter. There's a catalyst. It's very complicated.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's quite obvious that some engineers at some point in the Volkswagen process decided that they were going to put in this, and it was called cheat code. I'm just being very careful here because I want to be very precise with my language, so that the results when it was being tested were very different from the results that
on the street,
on
the road.
And what ended up happening was there was actually an organization out there, a bunch of university types that were trying to prove that diesels were more clean and more efficient. And in order to do that, there was a setup where you actually had to be able to test it on the road, not on the dyno, but on the road. And that equipment was very specialized.
And you attached certain equipment to the car.
Yeah. And they borrowed that attached equipment and found this discrepancy from what the car was doing on the dyno to what the car was doing on the road. They published a paper, and it kind of sat there for a while, and then eventually the guys over in California had a conference, and they were made aware of this paper, and they went to Volkswagen and said, what the hell's going on, right? And Volkswagen, basically, of America, said to them, let us know, we'll get back to you. A year later, the proverbial, hit the fan, and
the shoe dropped.
Yeah, and the long and short of it is, people were arrested.
And then VW said, yes, we cheated.
Yeah, Professor Winterkorn, Herr Professor Winterkorn, the guy head of the Volkswagen group.
Herr Doctor?
Herr Dr. Winterkorn, is now under indictment. And
$20 from Kenneth.
Kenneth, thank you.
Kenneth, thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You're the best. TFL Pro.
Yeah, Winterkorn is now under indictment in Germany. And
some other guys are too.
Yeah, some other guys are too. And there was a buyback program where you could buy back, where Volkswagen was forced to buy back the car, and there were hundreds of thousands sitting around in parking lots that were bought back. Now, that is not what happened with the EcoDiesel.
No, so EPA, once again, opened an inquiry.
Yes.
This is a government regulatory agency, Environmental Protection Agency. FCA said we had no wrongdoing.
Yes.
So it was a different story from VW story, because in the VW case, they just said, yeah.
So basically what FCA, I think, said, and I'll try to summarize this, and once again, I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to, there's a lawsuit here and I don't want to get embroiled in a lawsuit, but FCA claimed and maintains that the truck performed as a truck should, according to what the owner wanted. So if you're going up the gauntlet and you're flooring it, and you need that power and you need that torque, the truck is going to perform differently and it's going to create more emissions than normally you would be driving down the road. So that's basically, it kind of makes sense. That's basically what they said.
Yeah.
But the government said, oh no, that doesn't make sense.
And they said, please fix it. There was a stop sale in 2017. FCA and Ram and Jeep went back and they did a lot of work, recertification. They applied once again to the government to be able to start selling those trucks again. And these were 2014, 2015, and 2016. Those are the kind of the volume of trucks and Jeeps that we're talking about here. And then they were approved. They were once again able to sell 2017 Rams, and then a little bit later 2018 Rams. But then there was a lawsuit opened for the owners.
Yeah. Who bought one?
Who had one? Who either current owners or previous owners of those trucks for retributions, basically. And part of that settlement required compensation.
Yeah.
Part of that settlement required owners, before they could get a payment up to $30,000.
Up to $3,000, yeah.
They would have to go back to the dealer and get this recall software fix basically done, recalibration of the engine and transmission, and they did. And now we have hundreds of emails of people saying that they're not happy.
Of unhappy campers. Because there's two things that have happened, actually three things that have happened, right?
Sure.
And all these emails have a very similar theme to them, right?
So yeah, Greg.
Go ahead. Why don't you read one?
Well, just a couple. So Greg R has a 2015 Ram EcoDiesel. He says he was averaging about 18 overall MPG. It dropped to 14 to 15. So he lost about 3 to 4 MPG actually after the reprogramming. For example, oil field dude, he says basically he's sick of it. His truck was in the shop 8 times over the last year, and once again he saw a power decrease in his truck.
And then the other part that, like Dave R says here, P.S. I've also not received any payment as was promised. So owners took these trucks in, and really 3 things happened. One, and a lot of these comments go to that. Basically, when the truck is cold, there's a huge amount of turbo lag, right?
Yeah.
So let me read what David Foster says. Sure. This is a 2018 actually, so he's actually talking about 2018.
Yes.
It has severe delay in throttle response, especially when it's cold, and even once it warms up from the shop. There is typically a 2 to 3 second delay in throttle. Just as other people have said, my truck has only 12K miles and 13 months of ownership, and I have yet to get over 22 mpg on the highway. So a horrendous turbo lag when cold, to the extent that a lot of people are saying that they feel it's dangerous, right? They feel that they don't have the ability to like merge onto highways. And the funniest comment we got is from a guy who said that he needs to torque brake his truck to get out of his driveway.
He needs to launch it? Yeah. He launches it?
Yeah. And that's the heart of the issue.
Yes, so lost performance when it's cold, delay, lost fuel economy, and it also applies to the Grand Cherokee with the same engine.
Yes.
So there's actually a lot of people who are also struggling with this, and we're also hearing reports from Canada. So owners in Canada are experiencing similar things, right?
Yes. That's a whole different. They have a whole different lawsuit.
But it's not connected to the same lawsuit.
Right. It's not. It's a different thing. So if you're from Canada, a lot of this does not apply to you.
By the way, somebody's asking how much to get your name on the hood. It's $5 actually to get on the hood.
$20 you get a sticker, right?
10
you get a sticker.
25 for the badge, for the patch. But Kenneth Lyles, I'll put you up here because I don't think you're here yet. And also, who's?
Kenneth Lyle wants a patch, so we'll get you a patch.
Okay.
Kenneth. Just send us an email with your address, and we'll get you.
Ask@TFLtruck.com.
You want a car or a truck patch? Just let us know which one you want.
Ask@TFLtruck.com.
Yeah. So that's the heart of the issue, and that's where we're at right now. And we've gotten, I say, over 100 emails from people who are not happy with the fix, you know, Brad S. says, please count me on the EcoDiesel owner with a scary throttle, turbo lag when initially accelerating since it has updated. I also experienced turbo lag when pressing the gas pedal, Michael V says, especially when it's cold. Greg D says, let's face it, it was no upgrade, but rather a downgrade. I have a 2 to 3 second delay on my 2016 Laramie 4x4, not only when it's cold, but then when the truck is turned off for 10 to 15 minutes of city or highway driving. I still get the 2 to 3 second delay. It's downright dangerous when you know how much ground a vehicle has to cover at 55 to 75 miles trying to pull out of the way of a truck. So yeah, that's...
Yeah, but a couple guys like you just mentioned, Michael V, Greg D, and Zach A, no relation to our producer Zach, they mentioned that there could potentially be other solutions, which, well, you have to be very careful because these guys are mentioning aftermarket tuners.
Yep.
So either green diesel engineering or some other solutions that can actually tune your truck for you. Once again, you're getting into a water where you may not be a part of the settlement anymore because you've modified your truck outside of what FCA has provided. So you may lose warranty, et cetera, because these trucks also have extended warranty.
Yeah,
these EcoDiesel trucks.
So Texas USA says, unless you're on a tight budget, who cares about gas mileage? That's the last thing on my mind. I don't know if you're using your truck as a work tool and putting on, let's say, tons of miles a year. You probably care about fuel economy. Because
also, these trucks were not very cheap to begin with.
No.
I mean,
well, that's one of the expectations you have with getting a diesel half-ton in the first place. That's the case. That's the huge marketing push behind the F-150 Power Stroke, the new Ram EcoDiesel, and the Chevy Silverado GMC Sierra Duramax is fuel economy.
Yeah. And originally, I think the EcoDiesel was like a $4,000 option, approximately. So it did cost money to get this engine in the first place. And now some of these owners are getting about $3,000 back as part of the settlement. Actually, the 2020, the next gen is coming. So we'll have to talk about that later.
Yeah, and you're going to drive it next week.
Next week.
Yeah, so you're going to be out there.
Yeah.
Sure, you're going to feel comfortable talking to
I'm sure somebody will have stern words with me.
You know, we'll ask them, of course. We'll see.
Yeah,
you know,
I'll ask them what they've changed, what they've done.
Yep.
And we're just reporting what we received.
Yeah, and I would suspect that, you know, since there's ongoing litigation, they're probably going to say we can't comment because of ongoing litigation. See the press release.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to get any answers there, but that's what I suspect will happen.
Yes.
So Dan Atkinson says lag is most likely created by the computer gradually increasing throttle to create the least amount of emissions possible. Unfortunately, it's slower than the commanded throttle input by drivers. So that's a good point, Dan. So what Dan is saying is that there's no real direct cable anymore between the throttle, right? So push throttle, pull cable, open carburetor. that doesn't happen anymore.
No.
So the throttle is basically a suggestion to the computer, and the computer does
whatever it wants.
Whatever it wants, and if the computer's parameters are such that it's too, the engine's not warmed up enough, it's going to create too many particulates, then you're going to get turbo lag. Hey, we got. Oops, sorry. There you go. GameKid52 says, hey guys, is a Chevy 1500 gas cylinder reliable, powerful enough for my 72-year-old father? Always had a V8. Last truck he had was an 89. Heck yeah, that 1500 gas 6 is fine.
Yeah, I think you're referring to a V6.
The 4.3.
Right, yeah.
It's a base motor. Actually, we haven't tested it much.
Yeah.
Because we usually get the V8 trucks and
but
the turbo
it's fine.
trucks. But it's been around for several years, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if for me, I'd probably just get the 4-cylinder turbo at this point.
As kind of a base engine.
Yeah.
I think so. The V6, the 4.3 is the base.
Yeah. And
then I think for $1,000 or $1,500, you can get that turbo.
Yeah, go for that.
And it gives you more punch.
Yeah.
And also a better economy.
Yeah. So it's brand new, completely fresh feel.
Yeah.
Recently developed. That 6 is an old power plant. Go for the turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we have it, guys. So I think it's time to move on, Andre.
Yes.
And let's talk about the big news which we teased. Yeah. Let's talk about the
Tundra and some F-150 news as well.
Let's do the F-150 first. Oh, there you go. Oh, you just gave it away, Zach. There it is.
It's gone. We'll come back.
We'll come back. All right, let's talk about the F-150.
So we got a tip. The 2024 F-150 order guide.
Yeah.
So this document is not official yet. We just got an early look at it.
A leaked version of it.
A leaked version.
Yeah.
And it had some interesting items, a lot of which are no news.
Yeah, but there is news with no news.
So the biggest news
is that there's no V8 Raptor.
So So I don't know how many of you guys have been talking to us about 7.3 Raptor, 5-liter supercharged Raptor. You know, all these V8 Raptors. It's not in 2020 guide. It may come later still. Nobody knows. It's not in this leaked version of the document.
Let's talk about more no news. There's no hybrid.
There is no F-150 hybrid, which has been kind of announced by Ford. They didn't kind of call the model year for it. They said it's coming, stay tuned, we're going to unveil it and release it. They didn't specify exactly when. So I expected it to be in the 2020 model year. Some of you guys commented on our website, TFLtruck.com, that why are you talking about 2020 news? Because there is no news. This is very important in my mind because a lot of us are expecting certain changes, but they did have a lot of changes as far as like trim packages. There's new black appearance. There's new other trims on the F-150. The V8 Coyote is still there.
Yep.
People were afraid the V8 was gone, right?
Yep.
The Coyote is still being offered in that order guide, and so is the obviously the Raptor EcoBoost still there, and 3 new colors.
Yep. What are the new colors?
Red, silver, and they're kind of updated colors.
Okay, so different
red,
versions.
silver, and kind of white.
I'm sure they have cooler names than that, Andre.
I'm
sure it's like romantic red.
No, it's like speedy red and indigo silver.
Silky silver.
Something like that.
Yeah. Hey, somebody wants to know what happened to the 2.0 liter Rubicon, the Jeep that we purchased.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, what happened was we're working on a video series, and logistically that takes a lot of planning and time, and so that's still in the works, guys. So it's not being used at this moment, but we're in production on actually, what is it now, 3 video series, right? So we've got the Tesla, which we just put up this week.
Model X.
Model X, towing.
Adventure
X, which was pretty crazy. We ran the Ike with it, so that's going to go up next week. We've got the Touareg, which we actually just took to Moab. And we got the Rebel Rouser series, which we actually just took to Moab as well. So there's only so much bandwidth we have. We can only produce so many video series.
Absolutely. And we're wrapping up still the TFL Pro.
The TFL Pro,
the Land Cruiser
is still going.
So we're working really hard, and we're trying to get all this done. And the Jeep is still there.
Yeah, still there. We're working behind the scenes logistics. I mean, I think the Grand Tour takes a whole year to produce 12 episodes.
Yeah,
we probably do that
a couple months.
Yeah, and of course their stuff is much better than ours.
Yes,
but
their budgets are much higher.
Budgets are much higher, but nevertheless, plus reporting news and reviewing cars and trucks. All right, let's get to Tundra. We've teased them long enough.
Yes.
Here it is. So who sent us these images? We got to thank him.
So John, is that correct?
I believe so. Yes.
So thank you, John.
Our viewer John was, I think, camping somewhere and noticed prototypes leaving. Initially, he thought, and some other people thought, that this is a F-150 prototype, but it's not, because as you know, 2021 F-150s are coming. Technically, prototypes are coming. The interesting part about this prototype, first of all, the rear suspension is obscured.
Yep.
So they're very careful about not showing the rear suspension. So that could lead to a couple things.
Could be air suspension.
Could be air helpers.
Yep.
Could be independent,
Yep.
which I doubt. Could be coil springs instead of leaves.
Yep.
So there could be a lot of things happening. Toyota doesn't want us to know.
But we can count the lugs.
We can. It's 6. It used to be 5.
Yeah.
So they're updating their hubs and axles probably for more payload and towing capability, which is important because Ford and Chevy and Ram are escalating the payload wars and towing wars. Chevy is saying 13,400 pounds. Ford is saying 13,200. So they're probably raising their capabilities.
Yep.
And under the hood, we had an inside source tell us that potentially there's a frontal view of it. Look, there's a little Toyota logo you can kind of see. Inside source told us that a V6 twin turbo may be under the hood of this because currently the Lexus uses that engine.
Yep.
And also a gas electric hybrid. I was also expecting a hydrogen fuel cell.
That looks like a recovery hook.
This could be an off-roady version.
Yeah, it could be a recovery hook right there.
And look at the towing mirrors. There are towing mirrors on this truck. Zach, can you go in the other shot? I don't know if you can see, and this is will be on our website. This tire looks like a sport version. Low-profile tire, big wheel. So that could be like a street version of the truck. So that's kind of the latest news we have.
So Dan Atkinson, Andre wants to know, are you going to be buying the Rebel Rouser when we're done with it? I want to know that too, actually. So thank you, Dan.
This is going to be closed door negotiation.
There's no negotiation.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to charge me for this.
We have a policy here at TFL, which is when we go to sell our vehicles, you can buy them for whatever the company paid for them.
So it lost no value?
Well, I think it gained value, actually.
It gained a lot of parts. So I would like to, but we haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I haven't decided.
But keep in mind, Andre's been buying different trucks now for the last 6 years, and none of them are parked up front yet. So
I haven't.
I would hold my breath.
Well, I bought the Hummer from the company, which was cool.
Hey, thank you.
Tatsunozuki.
Yeah.
Yuzaro.
I take it to Japanese, so I'm going to go with domo arigato. Thank you very much. I hope I did that right.
$10. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Just wanted to show my support for you, all y'all.
Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't have said domo arigato.
You're welcome.
Y'all.
Yeah,
domo arigato,
sorry
y'all.
about the name.
I'm going to put you on the board as well, and let us know if you want a sticker for $10. You can have a sticker. But let's kind of discuss when we anticipate the Tundra to show up.
Yeah,
right.
Let's talk about
because this is very important. And I know you guys are probably asking about the Bronco, Frontier, everything else. So my prediction is this. November of this year, we might see an early Bronco look. You heard it here first. In February in Chicago, at the Chicago Auto Show, we might see this, the Tundra, the next generation Tundra, at least in a prototype form. What we'll see in Texas in September, I don't know. What do you think will show up in Texas?
I think there's a realistic possibility that the TRX will show up, the Ram TRX, the real Rebel fighting.
The Raptor fighter.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a possibility because they showed the previous the one-off prototype
in Texas,
at the State Fair of Texas.
Yes.
So I'm hoping and crossing my fingers that that's what's on agenda, but we don't know. And then, of course, a lot of people are asking about Ford. Super Duty news.
Yeah, so we know the power numbers now.
We do know the power numbers.
7.3, which is 430 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque.
But we don't know the power numbers on the revised Power Stroke.
No, and we don't know the new towing numbers either.
We don't know the new towing numbers. But I would be willing to wait that there's a 30 there. By the way, Tatsuno Soka. Sorry, I can't say your name.
Okay.
Wants a sticker, Zach. So
yeah, I got it.
Let us know if you want a car or a truck sticker.
Ask at TFLtruck.com.
Yeah.
And I'll put you on the hood here.
He says he's Irish Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Where were we?
I had a buddy. I had a friend. Who, when growing up, who was people thought he was Hawaiian, right? So they would go to him and they'd say, "What are you?" And he'd go like, "Hula hula, hula hula," and he was Irish Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah, and he looked almost Hawaiian. Tracy, really nice guy.
That's cool.
Great combination of heritage there, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, we were talking about the Super Duty, right? So what we do know is that number will probably have a 30 in front of it.
Oh, or 35.
You think 35?
Well, because GM is at 35.
Yeah.
Ram is at 35,000. We're talking about 1,000 pounds for the heavy duties.
Yeah.
So I think they have to be a 35,000 something number or above. And I think there will start building probably in December-ish, according to some of the information we have, maybe November, December, and available right after that. So New Year, the new Super Duties will be coming. And we'll be testing them too.
Yeah, I can't wait. The new Super Duty Power Stroke is much revised.
And it's already one of the more powerful engines.
So they went to an electronic turbocharger, which is cool, right? So
new pistons,
new crankshaft, new oil pump placement. It's
revised.
It's a big, hefty engine. So, and then the one that I'm really excited for, maybe you guys are too, is the new Tremor level of Power Stroke.
Off-road.
Yeah, because for the longest time, let's face it, the Power Wagon Don't Care has dominated that. And the one question we always get wherever we go is, why isn't there a diesel in the Power Wagon? And we've had so many different responses from it won't fit, it's too heavy, right? But basically, I think the real answer is FCA has not committed to putting it in there. But now Ford just like slapped down basically a Power Wagon fighter without the winch. With the diesel, and
without like a true front locker, even though they have a limited slip. There,
and a lot of people are like, I was thinking that after you buy the Rebel Rouser, we'll get either a Tremor or a Chevy because we can't do Ram again, right?
Yes.
And the one I thought we should get if we go with the Ford, and we might get a Chevy. We try to keep it fair, or a Toyota. Probably not a Nissan XD.
Well, we probably have to buy it before the year ends, right?
Right. Probably not a Nissan XD.
So this may not be available. The new Tundra would be interesting, right?
Yeah.
But it's not available yet.
Yeah. So the question is, if we do get one, would you rather have us get the 7.3 or the diesel?
So let us know.
I'm leaning
diesel
toward the diesel.
trimmer or gas trimmer?
If we go that way.
I was initially leaning gas all the way, and I was feeling pretty strong about it because it's just a tunable. It will be a tunable engine. Yep. It's going to be really interesting. It's a 10-speed automatic transmission, and then when you mentioned diesel to me, I thought to myself, it's a true off-road truck with a diesel engine, which hasn't been around.
Yeah.
So I think the diesel might be more interesting. I had another thought. What was it?
I don't know, Andre.
We're almost done with this show. Oh, somebody said, "Where's Kent? He's on vacation."
Were you gonna tell me you're buying? You're gonna let the people know, and you're gonna say you're buying the Rebel Rouser right now? Are you going on record, Andre?
No, I have to check with my highest boss, which is my wife.
That means
that's a lot of money.
You'd have to trade in the
Hummer.
Yeah.
Are you going to take the Hummer back?
Hey, Bernie Walker, thank you very much.
$20.
Keep up the great work. $20. Thank you very much.
Bernie
you get a patch for that, dude, and on the board.
Yeah.
You get in the hood there, dude.
Let me get these guys on the board. And is there any other questions are we missing?
I see Tommy over there. Tommy, do you have anything you want to add? Tommy's lurking. No? He's not. Well, guys, thank you for taking the time to join us on this episode of What Truck Should I Buy?
It's Talking Trucks.
I know it's Talking Trucks. And thank you very much for your input. Andre, before we say goodbye, we like to give you guys a heads up of what's coming up. So what's this weekend's truck video?
Oh, it's a really cool MPG loop because when we drove to Moab.
Yes. This is really fun, actually.
Remember when we bought the Rebel originally? It was wintertime. It was like November, December time frame, and we were quite disappointed by the fuel economy it got, 17.5 mpg. Joe Allen, thank you so much.
If we do meet and greets, we haven't done them, but we're trying to work one out.
Dude, we should do one in SEMA.
Yeah, and then there's
around SEMA.
And we might be in Portland in about a month at the Overland Expo there.
Well, it's like a Toyo Trail Fest.
Yeah, Toyo Trail Fest.
Toyo tires.
Yeah, so you'll be there. So we might do a meet and greet there. We'll let you know more about that. We're going to try to actually overland the Tesla out there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us will be at SEMA this year in Vegas.
Joseph says he'll give you $8 for the Hummer.
$8?
Yeah, $8, dude.
No, it's at least like 12 grand.
Anyway, we were saying. So we did this video where initially when we bought the Ram, obviously we drove it to Moab, and the MPG number for highway was supposed to be 21.
22, actually.
22, and we ended up getting 17.
And a half.
Yeah.
We were quite disappointed. So we needed to go there again to run Hell's Revenge in the Rebel, which was awesome, and we'll publish that.
You're right, we did do a little damage to it, so it's worth a little bit less now. I forgot we did. There was a little bit of trail damage.
No, it's not about that. It's not about, you know what I actually want?
What?
I want a Bollinger.
You want a Bollinger?
It's going to be more expensive than the Rebel.
Andrew just came from Detroit where he actually got to ride in the Bollinger.
Yeah, I really want a Bollinger, guys. It's an electric pickup truck.
All right, so that's going to happen in about 10 years. but the good news is that we decided to see how much worse the fuel economy got, because obviously we lifted it, we put 35s on it, and unbeknownst to us, we also put in a much more open, breathable. What question is that? Yeah, we did. Yeah. So the contest was whoever gets the worst fuel economy
wins.
Basically gets to put the video on their channel, because Touareg lives on car and
Ram lives on truck.
Yeah, and so we've just given away the result because it's going to be on the truck channel.
But it was a surprise.
It was a very big surprise.
A positive surprise. It was pleasant. It was nice.
Yeah, Dan says scrapes and adds character and adds the price, by the way.
There you go.
There you go.
Adds to the price?
Yeah. Every one of those scrape means something to you now, right?
Yes, because I was there. Juan Castle, $5. Thank you very much, Juan. You know what happened? Roman tore off the front license plate on the Rebel. But that's it's okay. It's a small thing.
So he wants us to forward him Jim Morrison's head of RAM direct number. I get a tongue lashing to give regarding my EcoDiesel. You know, we could do that, but there's a problem with that. Right?
He's no longer at RAM.
He's no longer at RAM. Yeah, Jim is now back at Jeep.
But I don't have his direct number actually.
And actually, Jim wasn't at RAM when we don't have his direct number, so we can't. We don't even have his direct email, unfortunately, which is
because he's pretty high up.
Yeah, he's pretty high up,
and he's a good guy.
Yeah, we're not that close. They keep him at arm's length. Great guy, but actually, I don't think he was even running RAM at the time that this all went down.
So he was at Jeep.
Yeah.
He went to RAM for a couple of years, and now he's back at Jeep.
Yep, exactly.
So
you know who was at RAM during this? I remember him.
Rick?
No.
Bigland.
Yeah.
I
Bigland.
forget his name.
Yeah.
Bigland.
Yeah, Bigland.
Who is now still chief of RAM.
Yeah, but
globally.
Yeah, but he might be.
There's more. There's
we don't know what he's doing. But there's another whole story there. So.
All right. Well, let's close
guys,
this up.
Let's close, guys. Thanks for watching. And Zach, are we coming back tomorrow for another show? Holy cow!
We will hope to.
Yeah. What's the plan for tomorrow?
Truck.
Mr. Truck is going to be available.
We're going to do what car or truck should I buy, but just to have Kent on this week, since we already did Talkin' Trucks, we'll do what car or truck should I buy.
Wait, Kent's going to be giving car buying advice?
No, it's which truck should I buy?
Okay, just what truck should I buy? There we go.
I mean, you know, that would be like any time you would ask something, the answer would be, get yourself a truck.
F-150.
I'm going to throw a car in there just to keep him on his toes.
I'm looking for a fuel-efficient city commuter.
Yes.
Oh, EcoBoost. Sure.
The Ranger. Kent, I want a fast two-seater sports car.
Ranger.
No, Raptor.
Raptor.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, guys.
All right, guys.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
All right.
Hey, play us out, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, very heavy metal-ish.